6 years ago today, American Austin Tice, a photojournalist and former captain in the Marines, was kidnapped in Syria. Tice went to Syria in 2012 as a freelance journalist. He filed his final story just south of Damascus, got into his car, and never made it to the border. 5 weeks later, a video emerged of Tice being held captive by unidentified armed men. Joining me now, Deborah and Mark Tice, the parents of Austin Tice. Welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us,
Yes,
Lauren.
thank you.
For the last 6 years, you have kept Austin in the spotlight. How are you holding up?
We're getting a little frayed around the edges, I think. The middle is still strong, but, you know, it's been a long time.
Is the government doing enough to help? This afternoon, the State Department said they believe he is alive. They have a special envoy, a presidential envoy for hostages, working on the release. And the FBI in April offered $1 million for information.
We've been very gratified with the support that we've received as a family and that Austin is receiving from his government. There's always more that we want to happen, and we believe since Austin was taken in Syria and he's an American citizen, that the Syrian and American governments should engage and work together to bring Austin home.
Is that happening? It's been 6 years.
Right. Well, we're hugely encouraged about the recent appointment of a special presidential envoy, Robert O'Brien, and we hope that that means now we're better poised to have a direct engagement with the Syrians on behalf of Austin.
Let me ask you a little bit more about Austin and showcase his life. First of all, I went through his Twitter feed, and it was really very painful for me, and I'm sure just devastating for you to have to do that. On August 6th in 2012, he said, "For obvious reasons, I find this latest trend of attacks against media targets to be troubling, to say the least." At the time that this was written, were you concerned for his safety?
Well, I mean, of course, we were concerned for his safety, but keep in mind, he is a veteran Marine. He had been in the conflict zone twice before, and so he went as a witness to Syria. And, you know, we're told over and over again in the Psalms, do not fret. It's a challenge when your child is in dangerous places, but do not fret. We're called to that.
Your Catholic faith must be very important to you now, I would imagine.
It's hugely important. It is the sustaining factor, without a doubt.
Yeah, and it's amazing. In fact, after our last interview with you, or your network, how many expressions of hope and faith and support and prayer we received from Catholics all over the world.
All over the world. It was hugely uplifting.
I'm so happy to hear that. Another reason that I believe you're here in Washington is that an exhibit of his photographs is opening today at the National Press Club. We have some of those, and I would like to show them to you, the photographs that he has taken. We heard Wyatt say earlier that the UN says children are the most in need of aid. Well, look at this. Your son was highlighting children.
That was his self-assigned mission when he went to Syria, was to really amplify the effects of an urban conflict on non-combatants, especially women and children. And he just has a special place in his heart. He's the oldest of 7, and so he just sees himself as the big brother of the world, right? And he really ached for the suffering of the children.
Mark and Deborah, as a mother, as a Catholic, I cannot tell you how much I'm aggrieved by what has happened to your son. I know that the network, people watching, will keep Austin in their prayers. Best of luck to you as you move forward in this journey.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you for your prayers.
Thank you, Lauren.
And the prayers of all your listeners.